get my 6. We have a real treat for you here today with this video. It's going to be interactive. Oh, man. You know what? This is take 3 of this video because that keeps happening, and I was wishing it wouldn't, so that it wouldn't take me so long to tell you what we're doing here. Okay, so here's what's going on. It's going to be an interactive video in that we're going to play a game that's going to involve me, you, the viewers, and later, my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl. She does not know about this game right now. I'm going to bring her up later after we've already played the game in this video and play round 2 of the game with her in the other video, which will be linked to the end of this video as soon as it's available, which is only going to be 2 or 3 hours after this one's uploaded and published. So if you're one of those wonderful, wonderful people that always watches our videos as soon as they hit YouTube, thank you, and we hate to keep you waiting, but come back in a few hours, you'll see the other one. If it's past that point, you can probably go right to it now. But here's what's going on. My beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, who is both beautiful on the outside and the inside, she has her own channel now. It's called Life with Dearly, okay? She doesn't really want to do the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch stuff anymore, but she still wants to make the cooking and homesteading videos, so she's doing that on her own, on her channel, Life with Dearly. We're going to put round 2 of this game, the second video we make, on her channel. So when that video is linked to the end of this one, and you go watch that, you'll actually be on her channel. Please subscribe and like, or as she likes to say, subscribes and likes. She's a cutie, she's adorable. One of the ways in which I think she could grow her channel quicker, I should have brought water with me. I'm starting to get woozy. And it's not hot, it's overcast. Okay, if she would just sit down and tell stories. There's so many stories I can think of that just, you know, they're so adorable, so endearing, and just, you fall in love with her, especially just by hearing her laugh. I'm doing my best to ignore that. But it seems like there's an energy back there. Yeah, right there. They're not hitting me directly, but something's like pulsing, like an energy behind me. So, okay. It's causing me to lose my train of thought. We're going to play a game. I'm going to draw something. You've got to guess what it is that I'm drawing, and I'm not that bad. I'm okay. Because there's really cute stories attached to these items I'm going to draw. There's a significance to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw them. You're going to see if you can figure out what they are. I'm going to stash them back here. Then I'm going to bring Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, up later, pull them out, see if she can guess what they are, and then tell the stories that are attached to the items. They're great stories. They're humorous. They're adorable. And the selfish, self-seeking part of this is, I mean, I'm just being honest with you about this, is that I do believe whatever it is back here, be it nature spirits, potential Bigfoot Sasquatch, they love her. I'm trying to get her up here to see if anything is different. Pay very close attention to our environment, our surroundings, what's going on now with the weather, the lighting, all of it. And when you watch part 2, see if anything's changed, or see if anything's different. See if we see anything peeking around the sides of trees. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story that was sent in. I gotta find it. I don't want to get the name wrong. It was either Gary McCormick or, so I want to, hold on. I'm going to ignore it. Every time I start to believe your videos, you pull out that stupid rubber gorilla mask. That's not it. Hold on. Oh, here's one. Kelly Albertson, to address this. The other story I'm looking for will actually, I know the story, I want to get the name right. She asked if I've ever had this kind of stuff happen to me before in my youth, other parts around the world. The answer is yes, and that's why I'm telling the story by Glenn McCormick, who commented recently about having something very similar happen to him that happened to us with a weed eater up here about a week or so ago, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to read you the rules of the game. I wrote them down. This is how we play it, so you'll know what's going on, and we're going to get right to it. Keep getting my 6. I brought my bucket with my... What's this? This is not the rules. This is not what I'm looking for. Glue sticks. Nope, that's not it. Nope, not it. Here's my potential Bigfoot Sasquatch field research kit, in which I've got my doodle book, among other things, in which I wrote down the rules. Here we go. Okay, first of all, we're going to talk about the appropriateness levels of the game. You know, like if you get a board game, it says ages... Guys, they're not hitting me with that. Those are not direct hits. It's like pulsating, coming from something behind me. Like it's hanging out, and like it's giving off maybe these pulses, these energetic flashes, like we exhale carbon dioxide. I don't know. But I'm not getting hit. These are not direct hits. So anyway, the appropriateness has not to do with age. It has to do with mindset. Do not watch this, first of all, if you don't like sequels, because part 2 is coming later, about 2 or 3 hours after this is uploaded, like I said earlier. Also, if you take yourself so seriously, you can't degrade yourself enough to actually laugh and have a good time. Don't play this game. They got me that time. You know what's making me want to get Giggly Girl up here? We use the exact same phone to make her videos, and these things don't happen. Oh. It's like they don't want their dirty little secrets aired out in public. Oh. All right. I'm gonna draw some things. I don't like being right here at this area. We're gonna start. Here's the rules. Get my 6, of course, number 1. Number 2, guess what I'm drawing before I'm finished drawing it. And in part 3, you gotta watch part 2 later for the significance of these items. Now I'm gonna give you the first one because it's so cute. Then we're gonna go into the woods. And remember this from an earlier video. Remember this as we go into the woods for the next few scenes. Do you get that? They like to peek around trees. Watch those trees. And for the strange fogs come in sometimes. Okay, here we go. So this is how the game's gonna work. Round 1. Round 1. Dun 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 diddle-doo 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 doo dun 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 dun. Okay, here's a hint. Kitchen appliance. It's a ballpoint pen. I can't hold it sideways. Dun 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 diddle-doo 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 doo 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 doo. Any guesses? Do 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 do. Toaster. If you guessed it before I finished it, you are very talented. Okay, now, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to fold it up, and it's the only way I can think to get Giggly Girl up here later because she does not like to come up here, especially just before dark. It's the middle of day right now, but it's overcast, which I hope that doesn't creep her out and make her not want to come. But I'm going to put this just over here. There's a cedar tree. So we'll come up here later. This will be like square one where we start, and she's got to guess it, and then she's got to tell me the story. Here's the story. This is so cute, guys, and this is like 10 years ago, okay? Daniel was like 2 or 3 months old, and he's like 9 and a half now. my beautiful bride dearly from the Philippines grew up in the provinces, what you would call out in the country here in the U.S. But trust me, it's like day and night difference comparing. That's as close I can get to you. I'm going to have to tell you this story from a different location. I can't stay here. Oh. Okay, guys, not that this place is any better as far as weirdness not happening in here goes. Ow. It's probably worse, as a matter of fact. I just touched a briar, that's all. I'm fine. This is where one of the ley lines comes down out of the forest into our field, and right here is where they love to put their eggs. We used to take them away, but they'd always reappear, so we just left them there, and it's been there ever since. So now, the toaster thing. This is something I thought was cute. These are the kinds of stories that my beautiful bride dearly, aka Giggly Girl, doesn't want to tell about herself on her channel because she's afraid it may make her look, and I will use her word, ignorant. And the definition of that is unknowledgeable in a subject. Okay, that's the true definition of that word, but of course that word has been hijacked to be used as an insult. Okay, none of us want to be called that, and she doesn't either. And I tell her, honey, people understand. Our viewers on our channel, and we look at the demographics, guys, 70% of you are older than me, okay, and I'm 46. We've got a mature audience. They're grown-ups. They're not a bunch of middle schoolers. I mean, you get the vertically challenged people that live under bridges coming by who hate their lives and stuff and say nasty things, but they're the small minority. The majority of our viewers, those of you watching right now, are older, you're mature, you can appreciate so much about life that so many others take for granted. You know, I talk about how grateful I am for what I have all the time. Talk about all the things I'm grateful for. When I wake up in the mornings, and if you want to have a good day, do this. While I'm sitting there in the mornings at 5, I get up early, 5:15, drinking my first cup of coffee. While I'm drinking my coffee, I challenge myself every morning to mentally make a list of 10 things for which I'm grateful. And that I never stop at 10. I keep going. It continues, and then my day starts positive as long as I stay away from negative Nellies, pessimists, cynics, mainstream media, the wrong kinds of music and all these things. I can pretty much stay positive throughout the day. So anyway, I just can't tell a short story, can I? You know, it wasn't windy a minute ago when I came out here. So anyway, here's the thing about the toaster, the story she doesn't want to tell. And all these are going to be similar stories. Our son was 2 or 3 months old. One of Dearly's beautiful sisters, they're all beautiful. She got like 7, they're all gorgeous. When you go hang out with her family, it's like you're at a beauty pageant like show or something. But her sister Mary Jane was hanging out with us. And, you know, there's so much about our backgrounds and our cultures are different. Even our diet. So there was like one grocery store somewhat close to where we lived where I could go and buy Western type food. And I tell you, when I found lunch meat and something that was close to cheese, it wasn't, what do they call it? I can't even remember, and thank God I've forgotten because I hate this stuff so much. I said I can't wait to get real cheese. Now I get real cheese all the time. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. We got a lot of Filipino friends and family watching. What's that stuff? It comes in a blue box. It's white. It looks like cheese, but it's really not. Well, I used that and some ham, and I made a sandwich, ham and cheese sandwich. So Dearly and her sister Mary Jane, they look at me, they say, that looks really good. I said, well, it is good. Would you like me to make you one? And they said, sure. Because seriously, I mean, Dearly was 23 at the time, and I think her sister was 18 or something. And they'd never had a ham and cheese sandwich because it wasn't typical of their culture, especially where they came from, out in the provinces. It was a diet that consisted of rice. By the way, today's day 36 for Dearly with no rice. She's lost about 12 pounds. I mean, by looking at her, I'd say 12 pounds. Changed nothing else about herself. They would eat a lot of fish that they caught themselves from the sea, a lot of vegetables they grew naturally in the forest. So yeah, make us a ham and cheese sandwich. So I did. I made them both a ham and cheese sandwich. So they're sitting there talking about how good it is. It tastes great. And I'm like, you know, they're really good toasted. And they're like, huh? I said, yeah, toasted. Like you toast the bread in the toaster, you know. Oh, yeah, toaster. Because we had just gotten a toaster. One of those things I sought out for my breakfast. You know, their breakfast was typically plain white rice with an egg and some chorizo, which I loved, or some longanisa is very delicious. But I missed toast with butter. So I hear a couple minutes later something banging around, something metallic. I look over in the kitchen, and here's Dearly and Mary Jane with forks and knives shoving them down in the toaster. And I look over, and the toaster is plugged in, so I run over. No, stop. And they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, you're going to get electrocuted. I unplugged the toaster, and I explained never stick anything in metal. I'm like, why are you shoving forks and knives in our new toaster anyway? So I look in the toaster, and what they had taken their sandwiches, and they squished them down, and they both put their sandwiches in the toasters. It was one of the cutest things I ever saw in my life. So I explained how, you know, we toast the bread first, and we make the sandwich. And there's nothing ignorant about that, okay? If you grew up without ever having had a toaster, without sandwiches being a mainstay of your diet, you might do the same thing, okay? Trust me, I did enough things over there when I was in the Philippines before I knew their culture that made me look ignorant in their eyes. It wasn't ignorance in a derogatory way. It was ignorance in the true definition of the word, a lack of knowledge in the subject matter. I'd never lived that way. I'd never eaten those things. I'd never done the things required to survive. And yes, I see that thing back there and make sure it's not getting closer to me. So that's the significance of the toaster story. Dearly will be the one to tell you, and they say that, so I will be the one too, and it's like Filipino English. She's going to be the one to tell you the stories of the other things I'm going to draw. Keep getting my 6. Here, this is going to be space 2. As I go back to sketching, these things are just, these stories, they're so endearing, and I'd see them and I'd laugh because I thought it was so cute. And she'd get angry, of course, or high blood as they call it in Filipino English. Okay, ready? Let's see, I got to give you a hint so you'll get it close. Also, too, I think him, her, it, or they really love her laugh. Oh, yep, they just confirmed that. Look, I think they want her up here. I hope this works. Okay, think of like utility room. This is going to be so simple. Utility room or laundry room. That's your hint. And we're going back with appliance, okay? And I'm not making fun of my wife, okay? For the people for whom this game is not appropriate because of a mindset thing. Doot, 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 doot. You're going to love the story behind this one if she tells it. These are the stories that will make you fall in love with her even more. She's just so wonderful, innocent. And she stayed that way. It's what I love about her. She's almost 33 now. She's been in the U.S. almost 5 years, 4.5 years. Still the person she was when she came here. Down to her accent and her broken English. She speaks 5 languages. But a lot of folks, you know, they try to get rid of their accent. Not her. She's proud with being who she is, where she's from, and but she loves America. This is something I try to get her to talk about too. Talk about how she loves it here. She loves the opportunities she has here, and the way she's treated. Wonderful, but she doesn't want to talk about it. I'm going to try to get her to in time. Okay, any guesses? This is a great story. It's supposed to be a washing machine / dryer / one and all. Just in time to move to the next location. I hope I can get her to tell you the story behind this. It's really cute. It's about the one we had when we had a really nice penthouse near, kind of like a penthouse. It's great. We used to be below third world poor. We were like fourth world poor, and then we were like way up there. Now we're somewhere in the middle. But the thing is, as long as we're together and we got our kid, we don't care. We don't care, because what matters to us is family. Let me put this back here. Of course, we do like food. It's nice too. I'm going to put this right in the middle of the X. All right, let's get on over to location number 3, and I'm going to tell you Glenn's story. Glenn McCormick's story. It's creepy. Where there is no gratitude, there is entitlement. It's the point I was trying to make earlier. Okay, so I try to never forget the things I have to be grateful for. Because when I see other people who feel entitled to what they have, I mean, if we work for it, we do deserve it. But to think for a minute we can't lose it all and what life might be like if it were taken from us, because I've been there and done that. Brother, it's time to get grateful. That's all I'm saying. I've learned that through my experience. Now, this is take 2 on shot 3. This is a super creepy place, so I've gone ahead and entirely drawn item 3 because I got to tell you Glenn's story, okay? This is take 2 because when I started with take 1, it was being recorded upside down. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with the phone. I stopped it, played it, it was upside down, I deleted it. Then all of a sudden the phone was right side up, and so here we are. Let's hope we don't get flipped around. Very strange area. Aside from X's and being in the center of 2 ley lines, the briars, I don't know if you can make them out here, the briars and the brambles behind me here, behind these pine stumps that were blown down in a windstorm we had a couple of years ago. See, there's a few of them here. I try to keep this entire tree line cut down for visibility purposes, but the brambles and briars here grow really, really quickly. Like, don't come here. Okay, so this is a conventional oven story, another story going back to Makati City. I didn't even know this story until yesterday, last evening, when I was talking to Dearly about how she should tell some of these stories on her channel because they're just so comical. And she comes across as so endearing when she tells them, and she was like, no, 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 no. But here's another story that I know she can tell. So we're going to see if we can get her up here, get her to do it. So, Glenn McCormick left a comment on the video we made up here. I think it was last weekend, maybe 2 weekends ago, with my new weed eater. Are these really birds calling to each other and answering? It's like they're saying now he's down here, and the other one's saying, yeah, I know, we got our eyes on him. I just saw movement at my 11 o'clock. You couldn't see, and there's guys keep getting my 6. It's a very creepy spot. So you'll remember if you saw that video, I've been having a problem with weed eaters. I brought 2 different weed eaters that were in fine working order up here to cut down some dead sawgrass, or at least sawgrass that looks dead, by all intents and purposes should be dead, but seems that to have a mind of its own at times and gets in the mood to kind of just get up and start walking away. So I came up here, both weed eaters just stopped working. So I thought, well, this is great. I got to go get a new weed eater now. Oh, well, they're kind of relatively inexpensive. So I went and bought one for $100. It's a Boland's. It's yellow. I've never had a Boland's weed eater before, so I bought it. I thought, well, I can make an unboxing and testing video out of this, which I did. And in that video, you saw the machine got put together easily, started up easily, but then immediately just started leaking gas out of the gas can. Took the lid off, put it back on securely. It was tight. Just kept leaking gas. So it's like something up here has told us we don't want weed eaters up here. I took the weed eater down to the house, tried it later, worked perfectly fine, did an hour's worth of weed eating. Not a problem with it, still works. Need to do some more weed eating later. So anyway, Glenn left a comment that he had something very similar happen to him when he was a kid. Well, actually 20 years after some things happened when he was a kid. Or about 10 years, okay. His family had a farm, I think in either Georgia or North Carolina. Glenn, if you're watching, I apologize for not getting this right. I read it once. It was creepy because it reminded me of something that Kelly Albertson was asking about my past experiences. I'll tell you that one too. Glenn's family had a farm. I think it was 40 acres. He had 3 sisters, I think, and maybe 1 brother. But they used to sleep outside, camp outside at night in the summers when they were children. And the farm was like 20 miles away from where they actually live. And at night, they would see in the dark these large, dark figures moving around. I'm getting creeped out right now thinking about it. Keep getting my 6. They couldn't tell what they were. So during the day, you know, he's a 9 or 10-year-old kid. He wanted to know what these things were, so he'd go out into the forest during the day trying to find them. Never found them, but he found plenty of tree breaks, trees broken 3, 4, 5 feet up off the ground. He'd find the wooden X's throughout the forest. He said he asked his dad what they were, and his dad attributed it all to just windstorms. But he said, you know, later, I think when he was a teenager or a young adult, his father had bought a brand new riding lawnmower, and he told Glenn to take it out to the family farm because they were going to use it out there to mow grass. Glenn said, okay, took it out, brand new riding mower, and started it up, and gas just started spewing out of the gas can, or out of the gas tank on the mower, just like on our weed eater here last weekend. So he said he took it back. They took it back to the store, got a replacement, got another one. And I believe he said in the comment the same thing happened again. And so he just took it back home, and his dad said that he would deal with it and try to figure out what's going on. So he said he'd never really thought of that again until he saw that video we made up here last weekend where our weed eater did the same thing. And he said he had so many similar experiences. Large dark figures moving at night he couldn't explain. The broken trees, the tree bends, the crosses in the woods, mysterious noises, all this stuff. It was like almost identical to what's going on here, what's been going on here. And it just kind of reminded him of all that. So with all this said, this video has gone on quite long enough. I said at the beginning, who really wants to watch a 30-minute video on YouTube? We're getting dangerously close to this becoming a 30-minute long video on YouTube, and we still have a part 2 to make later. When I hope this works, or this was in vain. I've got to go down there now and start convincing my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, to come up here to make that video for her channel, which will be part 2 to this one. Again, link to the end of this one once it's live and published, which will be a few hours after this one goes live, so just stay tuned. And I hope I don't embarrass her. These stories are so cute when you hear her tell it and explain it. So I'm just going to put this one right back here on the stump. Put a rock on top of it to hold it down in case that wind picks up again mysteriously. Sounds like someone or something was listening. And we're going to do a panoramic view of behind me here as we part ways until we come back for part 2. Hope you enjoyed the game. We'll see you for more here just a few hours. But it won't be on Homesteading Off the Grid, okay? You're going to have to go over and see Life with Dearly for part 2. Or click on it as it's jumping up here somewhere right now. Thanks for being with us for another one. Hope you saw something. If you did, give us a timestamp. Like maybe that thing right there in the center of my 6 and your do 12. Count your blessings, folks. Add them up every morning as you wake up. It's a good way to start the day. And where there is no gratitude, there is entitlement. Where did he go?